Good morning, students. In today's class, we discuss about the seed and fruits, which is the last part of the second topic, sexual reproduction in flowering plant. First of all, we'll start with the discussion of seed. So as we know, seed is a fertilized ovule. So after fertilization, ovary becomes fruit part and seed becomes the seed is coming from the ovule. So seed is said to be fertilized ovule. Ovule after fertilization will become seed. Usually seed has three parts. The parts of the seeds. Parts of seed. A seed is made by usually three parts. One is seed coat. Second one is cotyledon. Cotyledons. And third one is embryo-axis. Embryo-axis. So these are the three parts of seed. First of all, we'll discuss about the seed coat. Seed coats are derived from integuments. In the ovule structure, we have discussed about the integuments. There are two protective layers, and these protective layers we used to call the integuments. And these integuments can become hardened. They are becoming seed coats. There are two seed coats. Outer one is called the testa, and inner layer of seed coat is called the tegmen. And these are derived from the integuments. And importance of the seed coat is protection of embryo. The next part is cotyledons. Cotyledons are the bulged structure, swollen or bulged structure with reserved food materials. In case of dicot, there are two cotyledons, but in monocots there is only one cotyledon. And the stored food of this cotyledon is going to be used by the embryo during the seed germination. So these cotyledons have the stored food, and this stored food is used by the embryo while seed germination. The next is embryo-axis. Embryo-axis is the one which holds the cotyledon, and upper portion of embryo-axis is termed as plumule, and lower portion is the radicle. So these are the three parts of the seed. Now we discuss some of the importance of the seed, important points of the seed. So as the seed get mature, it reduces its water content up to 10 to 15% of seed mass of water is reduced as the seed gets mature. And also seed will reduce its metabolical activity as it gets mature. In mature seed, we also see a small opening towards the micropylar end, and this open or pore is called the seed pore. And this seed pore is nothing but the micropylar end only, known as seed pore, and this seed pore is useful for the seed for the entry of water and oxygen during germination. So seeds can be divided. There are two types of seeds. We can divide the seeds into two types. One is albuminous seeds and non-albuminous seeds or exalbuminous seeds. Albuminous seeds or exalbuminous seeds. Exalbuminous seeds. Or we may also call the endospermic seeds and non-endospermic seeds. Endospermic seeds. seeds are those in which the endosperm, small amount of endosperm is retained. Means during the embryogenesis, embryo is not utilized all the food content or endosperm. Endosperm is not completely utilized by the embryo, and there is a small amount of endosperm is retained in mature seed. Such seeds are called the albuminous seeds. So, for example, for albuminous seeds, cereals like maize and other cereals, they show the endosperm. And as albuminous seeds means the endosperm is completely utilized by the embryo and the mature seed is not having any endosperm. And such seeds are called the egg albuminous seeds. Example, pea, groundnut, etc. Pea, groundnut and etc. There are some other kind of seeds are also there, and they are called the perispermic seed. Perispermic seeds. So in these seeds, the nucellus will be remaining. The persistent nucellus is called the perisperm. A ruminant persistent nucellus present in the seed is called the perisperm, and the seeds which have such persistent nucellus are called the perispermic seeds. Example for perispermic seeds are pepper, black pepper and beet. In these two plant seeds, we can see the nucellus in mature seeds. So these are the two types of seeds with perispermic seeds. So seeds after complete development, they may enter a period of inactivity or inactive state. That inactive state of seed is said to be dormancy. Inactive state of seed is called dormancy. These seeds are not germinating. They are in inactive state. Otherwise, if the conditions are normal or what are the requirements for the seed germination, all those conditions are available for the seed, seed may germinate. For example, inadequate supply of water, oxygen, temperature. So all these contents are there, seed may germinate. So let us move to the next part, that is advantage of seed. How the seeds are beneficial to the angiosperm plants. We will discuss as advantages of seeds. Seeds are more dependable to the angiosperms. Unlike in bryophytes and pteridophytes, where pollination and fertilization is required water, but seed plants are not required water. So the seed formation is dependable, more dependable, because in angiosperm water is not necessary for pollination and fertilization. This is the first advantage of seed. The second advantage of seed is seeds have better adaptive strategy for the dispersal and forming new species in new area. They have better adaptation for the dispersal, and wherever they fall in new area, they develop into new plant because these seeds have stored enough food, and this food is going to be used by the seedlings until the developed plant or seedling develops or produce its own food by photosynthesis. So when seedlings starts producing its own food by photosynthesis, until that time the stored food of the seed is utilized by the plant. So the next is, the third adaptation is, seeds are, when they may get mature, they dries up. These dried seeds can be stored for a longer period and they are used for the food purpose. A human being can use the seeds for his food purpose. The next and fourth one is the seeds are production of sexual reproduction, so they can bring a new genetic recombination in new offspring. And this is the key point for the evolution. So they may bring the new variations in the new progeny and that may become the key point for the evolution. And the next is viability of seeds. We'll discuss a little bit about the viability of seeds. What is the viability of seed? Viability is nothing but germinating capacity of seed after dispersing from the fruit. Many seeds are keeping viability months together or years together, but there are some seeds which maintain their viability even thousands of years together. There are two such examples which are considered as a most old viable seeds. Most old viable seeds are most old viable seeds. The one is lupine or lupinus arcticus, which has excavated from Arctic tundra. Which has excavated means removed, taken from the Arctic tundra, and it is a 10,000 years old viable seed. 10,000 years old viable seed, and it has been excavated from the Arctic tundra. Another old viable seed, date palm, or we may also call the Phoenix dactylifera. Phoenix dactylifera, which is 2000 years old viable seed, and it has been excavated from near King's Herald Palace near the Dead Sea. These are the two very old viable seeds. Next, we move to the next part, that is about the fruit. We'll discuss about fruit. As seed is a fertilized ovule, fruit is said to be ripened ovary. After fertilization, ovary is turned into the fruit. That's why fruit can be defined as ripened ovary. Fruit is called as a ripened ovary. Ovary wall becomes fruit wall. Ovary wall after fertilization becomes fruit wall, and this fruit wall is called the pericarp. Fruit wall is called the pericarp. Pericarp is usually distinguished into three layers: outer epicarp, middle mesocarp, and inner endocarp. A pericarp may be distinguished into three layers: epicarp, mesocarp, endocarp. The pericarp may be fleshy or it may be dry. When pericarp is fleshy, such fruit is called the fresh fruit, or they may be called the flesh fruits. If the pericarp is dry, Such fruits are called the dry fruits. Fruits may be also classified into two types, like true fruits and false fruit. Fruits may be also classified into two types, true fruits and false fruits. Usually after fertilization, except the ovary, all other parts of the flowers are withers up. But sometimes what happens? Thalamus contribute in the formation of fruit. Such fruits are called the false fruit. We may define as the fruits which are developing from the other than ovary are called the false fruits. Fruits developed from thalamus, or you may also say other than ovary. Fruits which are developed from other than ovary or thalamus, such fruits are called the false fruit. Example for false fruits: strawberry, cashew nut and apple. These are the example for the false fruit. Then what definition of true fruits? Fruit developed from ovary. Fruit developed from ovary called true fruit. So which are again divided into many types: simple fruits, aggregate fruits, composite fruits. So we'll discuss later. So the example for true fruits, you may give mango and other fruits like the oranges. All these are come under the true fruits. Next part of this topic is the apomixes and polyembryony. Next part is apomixes and polyembryony. And polyembryony. First of all, we'll discuss about the apomixes. The word apomixes is introduced by scientist Winkler. Scientist Winkler introduced this word. What is the meaning of apomixes? Usually seeds are produced after fertilization. But apomixes is the process where seed formation takes place without fertilization. Formation of seeds take place without fertilization. Without fertilization means apomixes is a type of asexual reproduction. It's a type of asexual reproduction which mimics the sexual reproduction. Act like a sexual reproduction. Mimics the sexual reproduction. Then how it happens? In some species, there is a formation of diploid egg. There is a formation of diploid egg without reduction division. Without meiosis or reduction division. Without reduction division. And this diploid egg develops into embryo without fertilization. Without fertilization. In such way, apomictic seeds are forming. A diploid egg formation takes place without meiosis or reduction division, and such egg is directly develops into an embryo without fertilization. Example for apomictic process we see in the some of the species like Astraceae and some grasses. Here we can see the apomixes process or apomictic seeds. So these apomictic seeds are better when compared to the hybrid seeds. Apomictic seeds are more benefit in agriculture and horticulture. Then what are those benefits? So as we know, apomictic seeds are developed from a type of asexual reproduction. So there is no chance of segregation of traits in progeny. Means whatever the characters were there in parents, they are continuing in next generation. So we can expect the same plant in new progeny as the parental plant. This is the benefit. And the farmer has to use the same seeds every year. But hybrid seeds has to produce every year. But farmer can use the same seeds every year. This is another benefit. And one more thing is, when compared to the production of hybrid vigor, it's a cheaper one. Because production of hybrid varieties is a costlier, but it is cheaper. So these are some of the benefits of using of apomictic seeds. Let us discuss about the last segment of this topic, that is polyembryony. The word polyembryony is introduced by Anton van Leeuwenhoek. Polyembryony, as the word itself says, poly means many. Embryony means development of more than one embryo. Usually in embryo set, always there will be only one embryo. But polyembryo is the one where more than one embryo is observed in the embryo sac. If an embryo sac has more than one embryo, such condition is called the polyembryony. So there is one very important polyembryony, that is adventive polyembryony, where nucellar cells produce inside and develop into a new embryo. So we can see the polyembryony in plants like citrus and mango. So here I conclude the second topic, sexual reproduction in flowering plants. Thank you.